Politics with Jude on 45 TV. It's very, 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 very necessary we talk about this other subject, political persecution and the freedom of speech. Jeff, it surprised you to know that the sitting president is being touted internationally as
human rights lawyer,
an apostle of human rights, and one who holds the key of protecting freedom of speech. But under his administration, it's not a lie. It's not for any political gain that we've seen people who have been arrested. We've seen people who have been assaulted. We've seen media houses being shut down, right? And recently, there is this news thing of journalists being assaulted, arrested, and put behind bars. The most recent one that I'd want us to talk about, well, hate him or love him, right? There's this gentleman on Twitter that is very opinionated. He speaks his mind, right? He may not say the right things, or he may not say what you want to hear. But it's important as podcasters, let me put it this way, to talk about somebody who is also in the media doing something, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
We woke up in the morning to hear that at 2 a.m. one gentleman called Bongo Ideas on Twitter, and I think he's also on Facebook or something. He was picked up because, and then the night before going to bed, he actually put up a damning statement about the president's wife, on her birthday. Someone actually made a joke by saying that, oh, the president's wife may not have liked it, and told the president, aren't you going to do anything about this? That at 2 a.m., some armed men under the guise of national security picked this gentleman up, and nobody knows the whereabouts of this gentleman. When is this going to stop, Jeff?
There's not going to be a stop to this. As far as there are people who are in power and think they can abuse power with no recourse to their actions, things like this are not going to stop. Right? So the principle of equality before the law won't be actualized in Ghana, basically, because there are people who have power and can do anything with the power. Back to the issue. Bongo Ideas, like you said, hates him or like him, spews his opinion on the internet. However, we owe each other as a society a responsibility to communicate the right things. So if people are spreading fake news, false news, derogatory news, or if people are defaming others, we owe it a right to protect each other. If not, we'll end up in a state that we don't want to find ourselves in.
No, but that is why we have the courts.
Fantastic. Good. I was going to that side. In the event that someone has fouled or flouted any rule, try the system or try the architecture that has been put in place to address these issues. Somewhere in 2017, a similar thing happened between the then board chair, I think Mr. Hackman, Owusu Ajman, and then the managing editor of the Daily Post and one NDC activist on Facebook, Haruna Mahama. The case was sent to court, and then Haruna Mahama was asked to pay 800,000 Ghanaian cedis as damages, and was also asked to go and pull down a post he had made about the then Cocoa board chair, and also apologize on the same platform and leave the apology there for 1 week. So there's precedence to this.
There is, and I even want to mention one of the instances. Of, I think Asiedun Ketia and then some other MPP person had a similar thing. Asiedun Ketia took him to court. Asiedun Ketia is a current NDC chairman, right?
Chairman, yeah.
And I think he won the case. And he said he was going to build a house and right on top of the house, Okasie Binti.
Uh-huh. so
So there's
there's
precedence.
precedence to the right thing to be done. That's why I'm telling you that people, as far as there are people in power who think can do everything, or can abuse the power without any recourse to their action, these things won't come to a stop. One guy on Twitter as well also got picked up in the same style. Picking people up with no sense of dignity to their person is even worrying. You may think that, oh, the person deserves it on a sentimental point, but then I think it's for sentimental, subjective thinking like this. That is why there's a law to streamline how to treat people and regard people, even if we think that there is evidence suggesting that they are in the wrong.
But we are exploiting the national security apparatus and we are exploiting the police. That's not what they're supposed to be doing.
As for that one, we cannot speak to the facts of the matter that it's national security that went to pick him up.
Well, we don't know that yet.
City Newsroom, I think about an hour ago, just posted that national security has denied their involvement in this action.
Right. So we don't know.
Exactly. We don't know. Mm-hmm. However, it goes without mentioning that someone in a higher power, a powerful position, probably has instructed this pickup or the pickup of this guy. But then again, that is a fact, right? National security can, dismiss or they can deny their involvement, but there's no denying that someone with much power has instructed the abduction of this guy. What does this mean? Should this be allowed to go on? It means that at any point in time, if somebody feels that they have reasonable doubt to instruct people to pick you up, they can do so at their beck and call, which is very bad. It is returning us to a very dictatorial era.
It is.
Which we don't want to go to.
An authoritarian era.
Exactly.
Because my 2 cents on this is, before you go pick up somebody as a security personnel from their house, right, you need a warrant, right?
Yeah.
But now the police just walks into anybody's house and it goes like, this politician doesn't like you for that reason. Let's go and sleep behind the cells for some time. You know, when the politician is happy, they let you out.
They can also pick you up if they have reason to believe that you have.
But they still have to go to the courts. To secure a warrant, unless you are let's say flight risk or something. But even that, you still go to the courts.
They will go to the court, but that I think that is one thing that somebody was pushing for. That have we reached a time where we should scrap the reasonable doubt thing? Mm-hmm. That because I hold a reasonable thought that you how do I even put this? Say that someone maybe I think we've come to the point where we should say that let's scrap this idea that someone is a threat. So therefore, on that subjective reason, let's go and pick that person. I think we've come to the point where we need to look at that component in our constitutions or in our right and scrap it off, and then allow people to go through due legal processes of acquiring warrants before they can pick people up. Then when we get there, then we can clearly say that yes, we've achieved some milestone in dispensing justice to people.
Right. Want to touch on ageism in politics. Over the past week, a few days ago, the majority leader in parliament made a damning comment about the running mate of the opposition party, National Democratic Congress, where he said that the running mate is old, she's uninspiring, she brings nothing new to the table, she looks and seems retrogressive in her ways, and she's gonna take Ghana back. Women far and wide took an exception to that comment. Women within the opposition party in parliament also took exception to that statement. You know, so I want us to briefly touch on it as we wrap up today's episode.
Okay.
On ageism in politics, and also, is it right for the majority leader to have said such?
It's obviously not right for such an honorable person to pass such a comment about a fellow individual,
A venerable professor.
a venerable professor, as a matter of fact, and as a woman
Mm.
also, because this day and age where the essence and the substance of women and their contribution to society is clearly evident. I think we should grow past passing very derogatory and damning comments about women, particularly those who have really achieved the highest echelon of some accolades in their
Yes.
lives, right? I mean, the professor even taught African Americans in school,
Mm.
so it's been put out there. So if that is true, it's really really very very disrespectful on African Americans and to make such a comment. But then again, the topic of ageism, if it is something to go by, then African American himself has shot himself in the foot
Mm.
because you have a president who is equally
Right.
aged,
Mm.
and by that logic, shouldn't be where he is.
Right.
There are colleagues of his in parliament who are equally aged
Mm.
and shouldn't be where they are.
Mm.
So if the argument is on age, then I mean, he should look to himself and look around himself and see the people around him. So clearly, this is just a swipe at the vice president or the vice um, candidate
Presidential
of
nominee.
nominee,
Yeah.
candidate of the opposition party,
Right.
in just to score cheap political points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We are not going to be quiet. We're going to keep talking, especially in this heightened political season. We're going to bring to you every necessary information that we find that borders the Ghanaian. Because guess what? You matter, I matter, everybody matters. So long as we go to the lorry station to pick cabs, to pick trotro, so long as we buy kenke, we buy rice, we buy yam, that is the sweat of your labor, and it should not be taken for granted. For that reason, I say again, you matter. This is 45 TV. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode. It's Jeff and I here. Share, comment, and like.
Jude, I know you are wrapping up the show, but
Mhm.
I want to pass this last sentence on the political persecution thing,
Mhm.
right? For what has been done to Bongo Ideas, I'm looking for the universal application of the law.
Right.
If someone like Kennedy Japan should equally pass derogatory comments, defame people, can he also be picked up like that? That's a question. If someone like a politician communicates falsehood to the populace or to the electorate, can he also be picked up? Because if you are picking people up on the grounds of peddling falsehood and fake news, then that premise should be universally applied in the sight of we are all equal before the law.
Great. We leave this to discerning minds to deliberate. Can those other people be picked up? We'll see you again next week. Thank you.